time to change the oil in the RMAX 1000 XTR. So I'm looking through the owner's manual. There's like 5 drain plugs. You got to drain the oil cooler, the oil tank, and some other junk. So I'm going to go over that. My wife drove it around the yard like an insane person, so it should be good and hot, and will drain fast. So let's crawl underneath it and take a look. Is to raise the bed and crawl your head in here. Ow. Try not to stab yourself on everything. You always want to open up your fill cap. So I'm going to crack this loose here. And they tell you to do the same. This I'm going off of obviously the manual, RMAX manual. Oh, all right. And they tell you to open this one too from the engine. Got some little dusty guys there. Let's clean that up real quick. Clean. You know what? I'm just going to take it out. Hopefully we won't forget about it. Manual says to drain the tank first, which is old big boy there. And I think this is an 8 or a 10 when we got here. They also recommend that you get some kind of like trough to catch the oil. So I got a piece of aluminum. I'm just going to kind of maybe wedge this in here somehow. We'll see what I can do. And then we're going to crack that loose. So let's crawl ourselves under here. Let's see if I can. I don't know if this is finger tight or. Alright, little trough idea worked pretty good. Let's let that drain for a little while. Now, there's more drain bolts under here somewhere. Let's see where they are. Seen anything there? Here they are. Okay, here they are. Those have got to be them. I'm gonna look in the manual. All right, so there's those two. They look like, I don't know, maybe 12, 13. All right, so we'll try. Let's get some sockets for that. Yeah, you definitely want to do that trough, or else oil would be going everywhere. But there's oil cooler lines. There's like bolts you gotta pop for those too. And then the one thing you gotta make sure you do is like a certain amount of oil, because this is a dry sump system. You gotta put a certain amount in this tank, and then you gotta put a certain amount inside the top of the engine, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna take a look at everything. Oil looks pretty clean considering it's got 50 miles on it. I mean, this thing's gotta be broken in. It's, you know, I ran this thing pretty good. So, all right, we'll let that drain, and then we'll get set up at the bottom here in a second. This is just piston, so I'm gonna probably put the drain plug back in it. So let's do that now. The torque spec is 6 pounds on that. Again, it's aluminum, so take it easy if you don't have a torque wrench. So now we're gonna hit the plugs on the bottom. Let me get this oil out of here because I want to use another small pan like this. So let's do that. We'll get set up. I recommend when you're doing this to do it in these stages. Don't get ahead of yourself, because we're talking about 5 total bolts you got to remove, and all it takes is one step to skip, or you forget to put something back, and it's going to be a disaster. So that's tight. Let's move to the 2 bolts underneath the crankcase. So we're after both these 12 millimeters, and it looks like it's going to drain straight down. I hope. Yeah, this is, even if a little bit of oil gets in here, I don't think it's going to go too far. So these off, I'll let you know if anything weird happens. That top one out first. You're going to get full of oil, so just make sure that your socket is on there nice and square. Back it off by hand. And I mean, it doesn't come out super forcefully, but you're going to get, you're going to want to wear gloves and stuff. Make sure you got all your protection on. Eye protection might not be a bad idea. I got glasses on, so I'm not too worried about it, but I'm going to let this drain for a little while. Then we're going to clean off this. It's got a nice rubber gasket. In a perfect world, I would replace this, but I'm not going to worry about it at this point. It looks good. I will order more of these gaskets in the when I do it in the future. So that lower one, I noticed the washer stuck on it. So make sure you're checking your washers. Not a lot of oil came out of this one, so I'm just going to put it back in. Go for this bolt. If you can you see my fingy? Go for this one first. I feel like more oil came out of this one than this one, but I don't know. If you take your time, it's not that big of a disaster. This is definitely not the easiest thing to change oil on. I mean, yeah, it just is not. So again, I torqued these. I just snugged them up. You could feel that copper crush gasket. I do like that the oil came out nice. There's no drippy dogs everywhere. So now we're gonna drain the oil cooler lines. We got 2 8 mils. We're going to drain these next. Just kind of breaking those loose. I can't imagine a ton of oil is going to come out of these, but I could be really wrong. Remember, you got copper washers on these too. A little bit of drippy doos on that one. Let's see if we can get this other one out. Not a lot of oil's coming out of here at all, but we'll let it drip, and then we're just going to put them back in. The bolts are the same size, so you can't screw that up, but definitely take it easy when you tighten these, because it's going to be, small bolt is small torque. So cleaned them off, tightened them up. I believe the manual was 7 point something foot-pounds. I'll put all the specs in when I'm at them. So all right, now we did all 5 bolts, all 5 drain locations. Now we got to get the oil filter off. I had this oil filter wrench cup laying around. I don't know what I used this for. Probably for another motorcycle or something. So you can see the filter down here. Maybe, let me see, can I get the... Alright, so here's the oil filter here. They tell you to take all this plastic and shit off. I don't want to do that, and I think there's enough room to snake your hand through here. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me make sure this filter cup fits. It should, because I checked it out with the other one. Yeah, okay, so that fits. Yeah, not a ton of room in here. I mean, otherwise you'd have to remove this whole inner fender, and I don't want to do that, so unless I absolutely have to. All right, so I'm going to do this kind of off camera. I'll let you know how it goes. So I was able to get the wrench on, and then I stuck my ratchet through the top here. But you can, it's tricky, but you can do it. But yeah, I definitely would recommend this cup thing to get this off. So I don't know how, this might make a mess, so I'm gonna get ready here. I'm gonna put down the camera. The cutouts are pretty good, so sneak the oil filter up and out of here. I took it out right through here, so that's good. 1WD. Yep. All right, cool. A little bit of oil, Jesus, does get slops down there. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll want to mop that up. I got quite the dad bod going, but if you straddle the tire like you're trying to hump your old lady, you can kind of get in here with your hand. So I don't like going bananas with oil filters since you got an O-ring on there that's going to take up. So do that by hand. You definitely don't have to take all this jazz off. You can do it. Look, I'm not even bleeding. Amazing. You can get at it with your hand. Again, it's not. Oh man, I hit my head. Like, anticipate hitting your head at least 47 times when you're crawling under here. Maybe wear a hard hat. But yeah, you can do it without taking all this stuff apart. Add 1.59 quarts to the engine through the top of the cylinder head, and then 2.17 in that tank. So let's do that. I'm just doing 1.5 quarts. That way it's easier for me. Man, I don't even know how the hell I'm going to do this. So that was 1.5. You know, they probably want you to do that so you get a little bit of oil in the bottom end. Alright, so now let's see how difficult it's going to be to fill this up. I might have to get something smaller. Put that up there for now. Okay, crazy. You got to make sure you have a whole bunch of different funnels when you're doing this because you're going to need them. But I measured 2 quarts. 2 quarts plus the 1.5 in there will be 3.5. We did what we needed to do here. Okay, we warm it up for several minutes. Turn engine off and wait 10 minutes. Remove engine oil, tank filler cap, and then add sufficient oil to recommended type to rate. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's fire this thing up. Let it warm up. And let's see, what time is it? 4:55. So I'm going to let it idle for 5 minutes. That should get everything worked up good. And then we'll let it sit and we'll check the temperature, or excuse me, check the level, see if we have to add any. It's been idling for 5 minutes. Let's see, what did it say? 10 minutes? Yeah. Turn engine off. Wait for 10 minutes. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. So, let's, here, let me take you in here with me. This is the stuff you smack your head on. This thing wants to cut your skull open. Get in here. Let's see, do we have a spot we can put lighty? Okay. Kids hassling me, they just want to beat this thing. Alright, it says just to leave it in there. So let's... Did that... Oh. What the hell? I don't see any on the dipstick at all. I mean, I know the oil's super clean because it's new. I don't see anything on here at all. Alright, well, let's add half a quart. Yeah, that's about 3/4 on the stick. So I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna start it just to be on the safe side. So we now put 4 quarts in here, and they recommend 4.39. Was it? Let me see. Yeah, 4.39. So, I mean, that's probably completely empty, but you're not going to get all the oil out of the lines and stuff. So, let's start it up and let it idle. And then we're going to check it again. Alright, so same kind of deal. We'll let it idle for a couple minutes. And yeah, it's 5:21, so let it idle for 3-4 minutes. Then we'll let it sit, check it, find out what's going on. Got our fun drink. Set for 10 minutes. Take out old dipstick. Alright, yeah, that's a lot better. That's almost to the top. I mean, I could put a tiny bit more in. Yeah, it's basically to the top. There's 1X showing. I'm good with that, honestly. I'll just we'll run it for a little bit and then I'll check it again. So yeah, I guess 4 quarts is what you want to do. I would dump 2 in the crankcase, and then I would just dump 2 in that oil tank and call it good, probably. So yeah, that's how you do an oil change on a 2021 Yamaha XTR LE or whatever. Same engine, same stuff. So yeah, that was a long one. I appreciate you watching till the end if you did. And if you have one of these machines, I'm sure you love it as much as I do. It's a nice machine. Appreciate the watching. Have a great day.